This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people in the world. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, pushing this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to you all out there. And this is in the news of December the 5th, 2022, on this Monday morning at 8:35 a.m. Central Standard Time. As you see, I brought out the scripture of 2nd Ezra 9:3. There shall be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people in the world, and this was recently happened right here. This is from apnews.com by Kareem Caleb, if I pronounce his name right. And this was published yesterday on December 4th, 2022. And the highlight of this news article for today, for in the news of December the 5th, 2022, on this Monday, and it reads from the Associated News Press. Right, Associated Press News, I meant to say Slovakia. And it reads, 2 killed, 7 wounded in a rare Syrian anti-you-know-what protest. It says protests in Syria's Druze majority Swatha province turns violent on Sunday, leading to the deaths of a protester and a police officer and wounding 7 others. The anti-demonstrations are rare in Syria, which President Bashar Assad stunted on a pro-democratic uprising over a decade. Assad survived a civil war, but the conflict has plunged Syria into poverty. Right, because there's so much tension going on in that region, especially war-like related between the nations there. You got Russian planes flying through there. You got the IDF, which is the Israeli Defense Force, launching missiles over there. And then you got the Turks army versus the Kurdish army over there. So it's a lot of tension increasing over there in Syria, and it's been like that quite a very long time. That's why he said it's plunged Syria into poverty. And it says, coupled with a food security and energy crisis. It says, though Swatha has generally sparred from the civil war and the anti-corruption protests has occurred in the majority province over the past few years, with tensions simmering between residents and the Syrian government led by the President Assad. Dozens of residents gathered by the Swatha governorate building, decrying the dire economic situation and chanting anti-slogans before someone broke into the building. The Syrian minister in a statement said that the people who raided the building were armed and destroyed furniture, smashing windows, looting files. The statement added that a police officer was killed after the protesters attacked a police station. Activist media collected Swatha 24 and the UK-based opposition group, the Syrian Observation for Human Rights, and said security forces, live ammunition, and protesters. One video from the activists collected shows Protesters carrying a wounded man bleeding from his thigh. This is a large deployment of security forces in the area. You can still hear gunshots. Ryan Maloff, who heads the Sweda 24 Collective, told the Associated Press. Not the Nahati Tarashi, if I pronounce his name right, a Druze legislator in Syria's preliminary condemned protesters for raiding the governorate building and calling for calm. All of Syria is going through an economic crash, he said on Syria's Al-Kabara television, claiming that the outside forces could be trained to stoke the tensions through the anger demonstrations. It says after a Islamic State military group attack Sweda in 2018, more residents took arms to protest their neighborhoods. Local activists has reported clashes last summer between armed residents and armed groups aligned with the Syrian government and security agencies. So yeah, that's what you call the second Esdras 9:3. As I brung it out, the upwars and the people in the world, and that's what we've seen. We've seen that recently over there in China, and currently in Iran, and other different parts of the earth as well too. You seeing these uprisings of these upwars and the people in the world going against their the people that's in leadership of their country, and these citizens opposing and that's the citizens of the country going against their leaders and officials. And I'm gonna bring out 2 Esdras 15 verse 16. This is the book of 2 Esdras, chapter 15, verse 16, and it reads, "For there should be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, in the course of their actions should stand in their power." Right, as you seen, I just read that article, over there in Syria, we had the little protests they had yesterday, 2 killed, 7 wounded. So that's why you're seeing the increases, when they stormed the building, the government building, the protesters, that's a prime example. They should not regard their princes or their kings, their leaders, the leaders of their country, and the citizens oppose the certain laws that's being written by these leaders and officials. That's why the scripture says they should not regard their kings nor their princes, and they should stand in the course of their actions, right? Because you're seeing the uprisings of the citizens against their leaders and officials, and they highly oppose the certain things that's taken into law, because they feel like their country is under energy crisis, economic crisis, food crisis. Those are just prime examples. That's why you see a high increase of uprisings of the people in the world. Some they fight for justice, equal rights, more opportunities with the jobs increase, etc. and everything. So that's why you're seeing that increase of upwars in the people in the world, and that's what we are seeing. So these things are definitely going to increase in the latter days.
Got close there? People do like that when you at their house. They don't want to give you that. She said, Mama gave her a little piece of meat. I'll cook on the school.
Oh, okay.
I ain't mad at Cook.
Yeah.
I told Cook, I said, you find them people's house. Yeah, she gets the bus over here fast. You go, hop the bus go right there.
Right. Oh yeah, then once you catch that
Yeah, I
20,
told her she can't go here fast.
yep.
Yeah, she said she want some leg bone. I said, girl, you better go pop some. People don't give you nothing out here no more. That's why I'm holding on to my stamp. I got $140 stamp.
Right.
I don't mess with my shit like that.
No, I get $100 before you start.
No, I got 140.
I'm just kidding. I only got $80 left.
I don't spend my stamp for Aunt, but got what he want. I don't stop nobody doing what they have to do. Watching, she wants something. I don't take her pay or something.
Right.
So I let her know how to call. She said, yeah, she will buy. Everybody buy stuff because they, they need it. Somebody told me to save something to stop spending. I used to save stuff.
Right.
Sometimes you need stuff you have. Can't spend everything now. They said with a check, we're supposed to get $120 raise. Man, that would be good with you. You have some money saved. Do what you want to do.
Right.
I have to be going toward my car. I'll be saving,
Yep.
That'll hit me on there to pay on. I'm start back paying my car note.
Right.
I'm gonna still save them, pay that $1,000.
Right.
I start all over again.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, Andy, I'm in here, Sam.
All right, then.
That lady, she came though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she got the ring. She came in the back.
Right. Yeah. All right. Salakia with that. I was talking to my OG and brother. But yeah, as I brought out that scripture, 2 Ezra 15 and verse 16, they're going to be sedition among men, invading one another. Citizens of the within their own nations going against one another. Different nations. Like scripture says, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Going to see that as well too. And then, you're going to have these citizens opposing certain things that their leaders and officials that's in office, and they highly oppose certain things that's not going right for their country. That's why you're seeing an uprise and uptick of uproars in the people in the world. Sometimes they fight for social justice, equal opportunities, fix their economy. They go on strike on their jobs. They go on strike of the inflation, the state of the economy of their respectable countries. And that's what we're seeing, in many different categories, etc. That's why you're seeing like uproars in the people in the world with these protesters and stuff like that. Going against their leaders and officials. They oppose certain things that their officials and leaders, the citizens in uproar about. It could be in many different categories. It could be in economics, food, gas. You name it. Justice, social quality. Etc. You name it. Because you're gonna see these more signs of sedition among man. Uproars in the people in the world, and that's what we are seeing. So with that, I just wanted to bring out a quick sit-down lesson on this December the 5th, 2022 at 8:48 a.m. Central Standard Time. So, this is just a prime example of you having increases of uproars in the people in the world, of the citizens going against their officials and leaders that's in office, and the citizens oppose certain things of the officials that's in the person or groups that's leading their country. And the citizens doesn't like certain things that their leader officials are doing. So with that, hope this was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem Akarkadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And before I close out this lesson on December the 5th, 2022, on this Monday morning, So, this is a prime example. You're going to see more increases of upwars in the people in the world with these protests, and this is a prime example right here. Even though this has been going on quite some while, even though people are so used, so used to protests around the world, which everybody knows that, but like the scripture has stated, it's going to be upwards in the people in the world. That's why I brought out the scripture, 2nd Ezra 9:3, and 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and they should stand in the course of their action, right? Because that's what you're seeing, a prime example of these people are in the uproar against their local leaders and officials that's in power, of the state of the economy, dealing with inflation, food costs, price costs of their country, and these citizens are in an uproar of their leaders are not taking action to fix their country. These are just prime examples of what's going to come and going to increase around the world. So with that, I would say shalom and a ball.